Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you would be so kind to return to the party.
With all this excitement out here,
I believe that is an end to the excitement, as you put it, Monsieur Demire.
It is hardly a job of detective to resolve domestic arguments, but under the circumstances, perhaps there is more to it. I shall speak with the major outside.
Oh, thank God. One last match.
Bonjour, Monsieur Hagen.
I wondered when you would be arriving. At least now you can do your job.
Pardon, Monsieur.
I have just been assaulted. I want him arrested.
I am afraid it is not as simple as that. I merely witnessed you standing up from the ground.
Would you like to explain what happened?
This is ridiculous. You know very well what he did.
Perhaps you could elaborate on what instigated the altercation.
I should have known you wouldn't make things easy.
Clear that the major is still outraged by what has just happened, but I must learn what caused such escalation into physical violence.
I have met Monsieur Demire. He does not seem one to physically assault someone unless provoked.
I hope you're not implying that I started it.
I am only stating what I have seen.
I was having a private conversation with Angeline when he interrupted and struck me. That is all there is to know.
The major is still the same as I met all those years ago. I'm sure he'll remain defensive, and the blame for the altercation will fall solely on Monsieur Demire. Perhaps the best approach would be to act as though I am on the major's side and coax out the truth. Rather heated conversation. Conversation with Madame Adeline was had with the utmost respect and politeness towards her. See, I feel like you can't ask this one without it sounding fucking accusatory, and it doesn't even say implicating. So I guess I'll go with the straightforward one.
The content of my conversation is not your concern. What should be is that a man has been physically assaulted in his own home.
I understood this to be Nemozine House, the Vandenbosch residence. Am I mistaken?
And I reside here. My home is not what is being questioned right now.
You have grown rather close with the Vandenbosch family, it seems.
What has my relationship with the family got to do with anything? Why are you even here, officer?
Detective. And I was invited by Mademoiselle Angeline personally.
Seems to be mistake after mistake with that girl.
Think she has made a mistake in agreeing to marry him, or there must be a reason for your animosity. Well, no, because there must be a reason for your animosity is definitely accusatory. So, you know.
Of course I do. What a stupid question. He is scum. Him and his whole family. If I had my way, he wouldn't have even stepped foot in this house.
So I can either mock or antagonize him? I mean, am I supposed to fail this to see what happens? Like, clearly some hostility.
Officer Poirot, are you going to do something about him or not?
It is Detective Poirot. And if you refuse to answer my questions, I do not see how I can continue.
I just don't know what she sees in him. Angeline could do so much better. I don't think she realizes what she is getting herself into. I can't imagine her living a happy life with that rogue.
I see. Merci, monsieur, for your honest opinion, whether I agree or not. I shall leave you to your cigar and return to the party.
Covered a secret from the major. Was that a secret? He doesn't like the dude? Like, not often such a violent altercation happens at a celebration such as this. I should investigate why it began. Alright. Already filled with more drama than most, it has barely begun. I was requested here to find the blackmailer, but perhaps the altercation is connected somehow. Alright, so fun story. After the cutscene where we're outside with the major, that's where this video almost started. Because after the last part, you know, as you know, we ended it at the room. Well, because chapter 2 continued off, I let it play, and then once we were outside and in a conversation, I stopped the recording. I cut that part off the end of the video, saved it, did the rest of the video, released it. Once all my videos were uploaded, I fucking had a brain fart and deleted the beginning of this part. So last night, before I went to bed, I started a new game and played all the way back up to this point so that we could actually start this with chapter 2 starting at the beginning. Information regarding a shelter for women coming from troubled homes and backgrounds. Alright. But anyway, so yeah, if anything, it is now super fresh in my mind. This also wasn't here before. The staff rota for this evening. 4 people are assigned. Is this enough staff to proceed with tonight's events? Archibald, Elizabeth, Inga, and Rihanna. Kitchen. Okay, so it's just 4 people all day. Alright. The staff live and work in this house with the Van den Bosch family. It would not be surprising for them to know more than the family would expect or want. Yeah, I mean... Oh, inspect the butler's pantry again. Alright, we can do that. Oh. Okay, so oh god, we gotta talk to Cassandra. That bitch. Anyway. I'm assuming this will also, yeah. Unless we, make a connection to staff members, I doubt that we'll be able to enter there anytime soon. I guess we'll see if there's any other changes out here. I mean, I definitely... It's weird that it showed the inspect symbol, because I definitely had inspected that before.
Monsieur Sterling, I trust the preparations are progressing since our last meeting.
Please, Detective. Archibald is fine. Everything is in order now. Are you ready to join the party?
You are head butler of this house. It is a position that warrants respect, and I shall continue to give it, Monsieur Sterling. And I must admit, it is the smell from the kitchen that has my attention more than the party itself.
Rihanna is quite the cook, but it will still be some time. Maybe you'd like to enjoy a drink while you wait? Some of the guests are already in the salon to your left. And the remaining guests are in the library on the first floor.
I will be sure to explore both. Merci.
Do this evening's plans fall under any sort of schedule?
Dinner will be served in the dining room, but the rest of the evening is yours to enjoy.
You have all certainly been working hard, it seems.
Very hard. The lady of the house wanted everything a certain way, and that's how it was to be done.
You do not want to interject in the altercation between Monsieur Demire and the Major.
It is my responsibility to look after the house and staff, not to resolve petty disputes.
I cannot imagine he will be in any mood to attend the party.
He often has a cigar to calm down, and if that doesn't relax him, that temperature outside surely will.
Merci. You have been most helpful.
Meet the other guests. Time I met the fellow guests of the party, they all have a connection to the family in some respect, and although they are here to join in the celebrations, perhaps one of them has a more sinister motive. Ain't nothing to connect. Ugh. And what's here? Oh. Alright, well, the salon's right here, so we may as well do that one instead of going up to the library. Quite a substantial sized bottle of alcohol, already half drunk. Why is a half empty bottle sitting on the bar with no glasses beside it? Because somebody poured a drink and then walked away with the glasses. And just as last time, every time we inspect a clue, we'll come in here and mark it so that we will know when we get a new one, and it says that we can link them. We'll know which one at least to start with.
Monsieur Demir, we meet again.
What did I tell you? Call me Zach. You found your room all right then?
I did, and a charming room it is.
I don't know if I would call mine charming, but if I drink enough, it won't matter.
Must apologize for my rudeness before. I did not ask how you know the family.
That's okay. At least you actually care. Not like most of the others here. I'm the groom-to-be's older, more handsome brother.
Ah, oui. I see the resemblance now. How wonderful that you can celebrate this occasion together.
I'll stop you there. The only wonderful thing about this celebration is the free food and drink.
You are not pleased for your brother?
Angeline seems nice enough, but marriage is not for me. What is there to gain from tying yourself to someone for the rest of your life? Besides the money.
What is it you do for work? It seems everyone here is of some great financial standing.
Recently, not a great deal. Well, except for enjoying myself. I was once a field medic in the military. But those days are over.
Wow, he does not seem to have the demeanor to be a field medic or a military person.
A noble occupation. Did you not want to make it your career?
It wasn't my decision to make. I certainly don't miss the battlefield, that's for sure.
I am hesitant to ask, but how is your brother after the altercation with the Major?
I'm sure he's fine. You don't need to worry about him. Always the knight in shining armor. Riding in to save the day.
Saving the day from who, exactly?
Well, if Gedeon is the knight in the fairy tale, Felix is the dragon. Felix the Major. Ha! Always there, thinking he is better. Just because he was a major. We all know how he got there. In his mind, that puts him at the top of the chain.
Seems there's some hostility between Monsieur Demir and the Major, and an animosity that does not come from one evening at a party.
Perhaps it is best I take my leave.
Maybe the Major's what got dude here fired.
Ah,
Chance to play. Does he play the piano? Like, I've watched, like, we played the other Poirot game there, the ABC Murders. I don't remember him playing a piano in that, and I've watched a couple of Poirot movies, and I don't remember playing a piano. Brothers aren't close. Zachary and a brother. He's intoxicated, and there's a
Things are
half-empty
beginning
bottle of
to be-
alcohol. That seems like a solid connection. Enjoys a drink, and I have... okay. And I guess let's speak to him about it.
Fire away, detective.
I don't mean to dampen the celebrations, but would you like me to fetch you a glass of water?
I have a drink, but thanks anyway.
I just would not like to see things get out of hand.
Don't you worry about me. I've got it covered.
Excessive drinking is not in celebration of his friar's engagement. His recollection of war makes me think it may be something
Perhaps
more serious.
it is best I take my leave.
I mean, he was a field medic. I mean, it's bad enough to be in a war, but when your job is literally to deal with the people who are dying, like that's a rough one, for sure.
Oh,
News of the continued factory strikes, workers demanding a fair treatment. Well, I mean, unless that woman there is Jacqueline, I don't see what kind of a clue that could be. I also... oh, there it is. And that leads to the dining room, which isn't ready yet. And then for some reason we can inspect the fireplace. Margot.
Allow me to introduce myself. Hercule Poirot.
Detective Hercule Poirot? I heard we were being joined by one of the King's finest officers.
Oui, madame. I see my name precedes me.
Comtesse Margot de Vos. Charmed, I'm sure.
It is I who is charmed.
Handsome, well-mannered, and a man of the law. I did not expect such a fine caliber of gentleman at this party.
Comtesse, your compliments are enough to make a young detective blush.
Besides flattery, what is it you do?
I fill my time mostly with charity work. The number of those less fortunate only continues to grow.
How very admirable.
One must remain humble.
And which side of the engagement brings you here?
I have been a close friend to the Van den Bosch family for, well, heaven knows how long.
You must have known the late Viscount then.
Indeed, we had been friends since our school days. His passing was very hard on both Cassandra and young Angeline. I became a sort of protector of them both after his death. A guardian angel, if you will.
I have learnt that friendship in these higher social circles can be nothing more than a facade to remain. Facade, I guess, would make more sense in that situation. To remain in that position. Perhaps the Comtesse is vying for Madame Van den Bosch's position. It was quite a shock to see the Major lying in the hall like that.
You will find Felix at the center of any trouble, especially when it concerns the ladies of the house.
I understand he has made himself quite at home here.
What an understatement. He thinks his friendship with Cassandra entitles him to anything and everything in the house, including certain opinions of how young Angeline lives her life.
He does not approve of Monsieur Demire?
You'd have to ask him, or rather speak with Gideon's brother. He will have something to say about Felix, I am sure.
The Comtesse is well versed in drawing one in with delicious bait and then leaving them biting on the line. Another conversation with Monsieur Zachariah is in order. What are your thoughts on Monsieur Demire?
A strapping young man. Angeline has found herself a good one. They certainly make a handsome couple.
Speaking with them both, it is plain to see, even to one that is unexperienced in such emotions, that there is a great deal of love between them.
When they are together, it is obvious for all to see, even at such a young age. But who are we to judge what the heart wants?
So it is the women's shelter you work with?
Work with? I built it from the ground up, detective.
My admiration continues to grow.
While my husband, the Honorable Count de Vos, is always busy with his duties, I found myself at rather a loose end. I could not bear wasting my days with no purpose. And one day, while shopping in the city, I noticed the abundance of young women living and begging on the streets. Dirty and hungry, without a franc to their name.
It is horrifying to think of how so many must live their lives while others live a life of such selfish opulence.
I hope that was not a backhanded comment on the life I live, detective.
Far from it, Comtesse. You are using your wealth to better the lives of the less fortunate. It is commendable work you do.
It is, isn't it?
The work the Comtesse is doing will go a long way to improve the lives of those who need it so badly. I only wish there were more in positions such as hers who could see the divide in our society and use their wealth to bring the plight to an end.
It has been a pleasure conversing. I look forward to our next tete-a-tete.
Which, after I potentially link stuff together, could be in 2 seconds. Nothing in this one, though. It did give me more conversation options with other people, but... Oh, nope, no links. Okay. Well, guess I'll talk to him again.
Fire away, detective.
Get the feeling you don't have much fondness for the Major.
The major pain in the ass. Why should I? It doesn't take a detective to work out the sort of man he really is. You must have seen it, right?
I have my own history with the Major, but that is a story best not told.
I think it's a story best told now. It can't be any worse than what he did to us during the war.
You fought together in the war?
We were on opposing sides.
Stumbled upon a delicate subject. It may be best to avoid it altogether.
The subject of war is a difficult topic for everyone. Perhaps it is best to discuss something else.
If you had seen what I have, what he has done, you wouldn't side with him.
I am taking no sides, monsieur. It is just not conversation fit for a party. Perhaps it is best I...
Alright. I don't know what war they're talking about, so... Brothers have a history with the Major. And the Major doesn't like Gideon.
Some would say a lucky guess.
So the Major intended to warn Angeline. Alright, well... By the looks of it, we have nothing else in here besides talking to Bitchy Poo here.
Madame Vandenbosch, congratulations are in order on your daughter's engagement.
Thank you. And you are?
Detective Poirot.
I'm sorry, the name eludes me.
Day at the Vandenbosch house has stayed with me. It opened my eyes to the unjust treatment of the working class and has been a driving force of becoming the detective I am today. And yet I have barely been a second thought to her.
Once, Officer Poirot, I investigated your daughter's missing bracelet.
Oh, it's you. There is no missing jewelry here today, so we are really not in need of your services.
I am here on a rather more pressing...
I know why you are here, officer, detective, whatever you are now. Please, just get on with it.
Well, I mean, at least, you know, she switched it to detective on her own, unlike the Major.
Detective, and I promise not to keep you too long.
I understand the altercation earlier. Well, no, let's start with this. Your daughter invited me to find the blackmailer.
Keep your volume down. She had no right to do such a thing. As soon as the other ladies get wind that there was a police officer in-house, the whole town will know.
Perhaps you should be more focused on catching the blackmailer that is holding your family's name to ransom than what the chattering women of the town will say.
I care more about what those chattering women, as you so rudely describe them, have to say than the empty threat of an anonymous letter.
Your daughter does not agree. In fact, it has been suggested that one of tonight's guests may know more than they are willing to show.
The guests? You mean our friends? You can't honestly believe one of them would be so petty to send a letter like that. Oh, officer, you have not changed.
You must be elated at the news of Mademoiselle Angeline's engagement.
Gideon is a fine, educated young man from a well-respected family.
All important when considering a new son-in-law.
A good home and education speaks volumes about a man. Even in the short time they have been engaged, his noble character is obvious. If you were an educated man, you would know that.
I can assure you, madame, my education is not one to be sneered at.
And yet you remain a mere detective. Perhaps it is your choices, then, that are to be questioned.
I understand that the Major is not fond of Angeline's husband-to-be.
You can make whatever assumptions you wish.
Based on several accounts, it seems as though the Major has a certain level of disdain for him and his brother.
Felix is merely protecting both my daughter and the Vandenbosch name.
Protecting them from what exactly?
That is a question best asked to them.
So I understand the altercation earlier began with an argument between the Major and Mademoiselle Angeline.
Angeline is her own woman now. She can fight her own battles. She does not need her husband to be stepping in.
And what battles would they be?
Nothing that concerns you, detective.
I'm not sure what I expected asking Madame Van den Bosch about private matters. So I must thank you for your hospitality tonight.
I suppose it is only polite to say you're welcome.
Madame is as quick-witted as I remember.
What a shame there is nothing as memorable about you but your lack of respect.
Should have known getting into a verbal battle with Madame would not be easily won. Perhaps you should tell me about the family secret, the one your daughter is protecting.
What do you mean, protecting? She hasn't gone and paid that silly ransom, has she?
It was Monsieur Demire that accepted the cost. He paid it because your daughter believes there may be something to hide.
For heaven's sake! Why do you think it was addressed to her and not I in the first place? Because they knew I would throw it in the rubbish where it belongs.
Madame, if there is something you are keeping, it would be wise to tell me now. It may help in identifying the culprit.
And it would be wise for you to stay out of my family's business. If I require your help, I shall ask for it. But don't hold your breath.
So I was passing in and noticed the butler's pantry was locked.
Locked? That is absurd. They should be constantly coming back and forth from there if they are hiding from their work again. What is it you want in my staff area anyway?
I only mention it as I was hoping to speak to some staff members. But if they are busy...
Be a good fellow and make sure they aren't slacking off in there. It shan't take you long.
May not have been the permission I was expecting, but I shall take it nonetheless.
Merci.
Shall try the pantry again.
An enchanting conversation, as always.
Alright, well that probably unlocked a bunch of shit, including links to stuff. So hastily arranged marriage, and Gideon is looking forward to the family thing, to the family fortune. Could be married into the family purely for financial gain. Okay, and it doesn't look like I have any other conversation starts in that sec. Oh, that was it. Okay, wow. Not nearly as much information as I expected, or as many like links as I expected from her. But that's fine. I don't think there's anything new with the butler. Now, he said that he'll inspect it again, but it's not like we got a key. Unlocked, I must have caught a staff member at the right time. Yeah, we already looked at the pots and pans. We have that random woman there. Assuming it's the cook. A photo showing 7 members of staff. The house would surely run like clockwork with so many. It's a pretty big house, but yeah, I think 7 would be good. So the staff photo and the staff rota.
The pieces of the puzzle.
It appears there are a number of staff missing based on the photo. Okay. I don't know. I mean, there's only 4 of them, right? So we have 3 missing. Papers that order the dismissal of a staff member for accessing rooms without permission. Dear Miss Allard, your position as housemaid within the Van den Bosch residence is hereby officially terminated with immediate effect for the following reasons. Accessing forbidden areas of the house, refusal to make sincere apology, emotional distress brought to the family. A reference shall be offered pending future employment. Alright, well, I mean, that's... forbidden areas of the house, staff termination. I mean...
Order and method.
No, I mean...
I should not
There
be
it is.
surprised by my...
Appears the missing staff are in fact relieved of their duties. Could there be another reason for letting them go? So recent staff layoffs, remaining staff
I must
overwhelmed.
act
No,
on
really?
thought and another
There
success.
we go. Family would be more cautious with their money. Maybe staff were let go for another reason. Related to money issues, talk to Cassandra again. And Archibald. Alright, well those 2 we have. And this might be Inge or whatever the hell her name was. Yeah.
Bonjour, mademoiselle.
Oh, monsieur, you startled me.
It was not my intention, mademoiselle. I was hoping to talk with a member of the staff.
You are the detective?
I am Detective Hercule Poirot. I only intend to take up a moment of your time.
Madame Van der Bosch will be very hungry if she knows I'm standing talking.
Allow me to worry about madame.
Forgive me, I did not get your name.
Inga Frank, detective.
From the Norse god of peace and fertility. A most beautiful name.
Merci. It was my grand-mère.
You've all been working very hard this evening.
Oui, detective. Madame was very clear on what was to be prepared for today.
Well, everything looks exquisite. But if I may be blunt, would you not benefit from some more hands?
Monsieur Archie knows how busy we are, especially in the kitchen. I hate when I have to run service.
Madame has recently fired some members of the staff, though.
That is not for me to talk about, detective. If Monsieur Archie found out I had said anything out of turn.
I am not asking you to betray your fellow staff or the family. What is said between us remains that way, mademoiselle.
It's only whispers, but the last servant was caught in areas of the house they shouldn't be. Apparently, they saw something they shouldn't have. Please, detective, if Monsieur Archibald found out I was talking like this with a guest...
My lips are sealed, mademoiselle. Merci, mademoiselle. I shall leave you to your work.
Alright, let's see what we got. Okay, no links in this one. Or in the blackmail one. Alright, or in this one. Alright then.